And we're back. It's still the same day when I left it off. For you guys, it's another day. But for me, it's the same day. It's called pre-recording. Order, please. Let us resume proceedings. Oh, that's what I needed. A fucking drink of water. There you go. Witnesses, you will now retake the stand. I guess I just needed a fresh cup of water to be able to just, be able to capture his voice well. Oh, great. Gregson's back. It's gonna ruin my voice. I presume you heard the defense's counsel submission examination. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Governor. Oh, yeah, Governor. I did, I did. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. Go! Blimey! This is going to be hard work. Not really threatening when they don't have a gun now, do they, huh? Early in this trial, you gave the following testimony about your actions after you entered Windy Banks. Well, it was Bedlam Zunas, weren't it? It was, Nash. It was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes out of me Lucy Lockets. However, that was a lie. You brothers. Go! Blimey! On the night in question, you rifled through the items on the victim's counter. We never done nothing of the sort. How do you figure that out? Uh-oh. Looks like Ringo ratted you out. You will now give formal testimony once again. You will tell the court precisely what happened on the day in question, and this time, you will tell the truth. Each lie that passes your lips serves to increase the severity of your punishment. Oh wow, he really is serious about that now. And that, gentlemen, may deal a crushing blow to your chances of ever seeing the light of day again. Oh! A thought worth pondering, perhaps. Say no more, God. Way, We'll blab, we'll squeal, we'll peach. Alright, it's about time. Tell us the truth now. Fucking thieves. Hey, can we even call them thieves? Because they attempted murder right there. Alright. We did knock a few things over, but we weren't ruffling over for nothing. It was when we heard a gunshot, see? Made us both jump and all, and that stuff went flying. Lummy, it didn't have give me a fright. We was thinking, it shooted, come out to the door and give us next. We stuck everything back where we found it and scrapped it straight into in the back. We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never even had a chance, did we? So you meant to the defense's accusation. You did indeed ransack Mr. Winnipeg's countertop on the night in question. Not a ransack, Governor, no. That's right, Nash. That's right. It's more like we tidy up, yeah. That's a completely lie. What's the point of, like, if you didn't say you ransacked, but you did hear, but you didn't really ransack the place, but you cleaned up? That doesn't make really too much sense. Otherwise, we might actually find some light. Sorry. By their own admission, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery under dubious circumstances. However, they panicked and fled on hearing the gunshot, having first made good their mess. The way you say it, we hardly sound like roughs at all. We don't, Nash, we don't. Can't make us sound a bit more cutthroat. It can't just be a coincidence that these men showed up at Windy Banks last night. There's more to their testimony than meets the eye. I'm sure of it. I like how they keep staring at him every time. They like, come on, back us up, bruv. He's like, I'm not your Son, I'm not your bro, sunshine. Alright, now. Let's see what you have to do. If that's the case, then why didn't you testify to that effect in the first place? Well, you know, we ain't exactly squeaky clean, are we? We ain't, Nash, we ain't. If we admitted to something like that, people would think we was up to no good. You were, though. Well said, Ringo. Me old China. We'd only land ourselves in even more trouble. And in fact now, as a result of lying in your previous testimony, that's exactly what you've done. Landed yourselves even more trouble. Oh, well, That's rotten luck. That's rotten luck, says the rotten apple eater. Witnesses! Explain your actions to the court. Why did you ransack to the victim's counter? We never ransacked nothing. Right, Nash, right! More like we tidied up the place. Are you lying to me? Oh, sorry. You're not. I think you are. He is. I think they are lying to him right now. Alright, what do you say about tidying the place? So what you were saying is, the sound of the gunshot shocked you so much that you knocked all those things on the counter? Well, it shocked one of us. That much, yeah. Oh, fuck, I didn't even read the whole thing. I don't think he has to say, well, it shocked one of us. That much, yeah. That bag of nerves needs to learn to keep his shirt on. Look, it was loud, alright. Blimey, me dead granny would have woken up in that bang. Big Rob here screamed like a blooming baby and fell over the counter. He knocked over the land, load of books and candlestick and some skull whatnot. That got tangled in some net. What knocked over the picture frame? What knocked to them scares on the floor? You've really mastered working quietly then. What a ransacked, what a racket. Me granny would have been scared back into her grave at a clatter like that. So in short, the gunshot took you by surprise. And then some. I mean, it was quite the mouse and then, all of a sudden, BAM! What? What do you have to say, Gregson? Huh? I don't even remember this. Inspector Gregson, do you have something to add? Like I keep saying, I don't appreciate being lumped in with these scoundrels. I'm not even lumping you in with these scoundrels. No, something to add about their testimony. Gregson, come on. You seem to react just now at what Mr. Skulkin said. Did it make you think of something? It's probably nothing, of course. I wouldn't even bother to mention it only. Well, the fact is, cases don't get solved if you ignore the little details. How about you tell us about what's on your mind? And also, what little details? You keep glancing over them, I believe. Alright. As you know, we brought these fellas into the yard for questioning last night. And the statement they gave then told a slightly different story to what they're saying now. Did it? You claimed you heard the victim shot something out before the gunshot. Might have, Gov, might have. Does ring a bell now that you mention it. Granted, it's only a minor detail, but still. I can't help feeling like perhaps you've been a bit sloppy with your testimony here, fellas. If I discovered that these witnesses' testimony has been any more sloppy than it has a hetero to proven to be, I shall be forced to bring the harshest punishment to bear against them. Easy, easy! We'll get it right this time! That's it, yep. It's all coming back to me now. Then speak! Supplement your testimony with whatever details have miraculously returned to your questionable minds, sirs. Right, you are, Gov. Alright, right, you are, Gov.
Just before the gunshot, we heard some voice yelling out, "Give me that gun!"
Hold it!
What? So in fact, you heard the voice of the gunshot almost simultaneously.
We did, Gov, we did.
Why didn't you just tell us? This would actually incriminate her more. Although, I suppose you're being honest. We earned the kind of wavering voice before the yell and all.
If you don't want to get shot, give me that gun!
BAM!
Kind of thing.
A career in acting tragically missed. Alright. I mean, I think they could have done they could have been the Three Stooges if they had a third one, honestly, but I guess not. And where were the voices coming from? Could you tell?
Of course we could. From the other side of the door behind the counter it was.
From the storeroom, where the victim was found dead. And the voice you heard, it was that of the victim, Mr. Whitney Bank. I hope so.
On me granny's life, of course it was.
On its granny's life, of course it was. So that would mean that you both knew Mr. Winnie Bank and the sound of his voice. Ah! So what? That would mean what?
What, Nash, what? Any ideas?
Yes, Consul, indeed it would. No. We didn't know the geezer.
How am I supposed to deny it when the bloke in all that fancy club is giving us the evil eye?
If you value your lives, if you value your lives, you will ensure your testimony is accurate and true.
Oh, on me granny's life it is.
On his granny's life, it must be. Aren't you brothers? Don't you share the same granny then? It's a good job his granny's dead. To summarize then, immediately after hearing the voice, the victim, you then hear the gunshot. Causing you to stumble the upset items on the counter, scattering them over the shop floor.
Yeah, make it sound like we're like clumsy.
Don't forget, we tidy up after that after like good little boys. Anyway, the way I see it, the bloke what owned the place, was holding a gun, so he should have just fired instead of yelling at the girl. Wait, what? Okay, I think that's it for the testimony right now. So it looks like nothing much there is to say. I mean, we could just continue pressing on with these, but it doesn't really give us much information. If you wanted to skip through the whole thing, the bloke what owned the place was holding a gun, so he should have just fired instead of yelling at the girl. How is that true?
Objection!
If we clearly see that Gina had the gun. You're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Winnie Bank, was wielding the gun? Is that correct? That's it, Gov. You got the picture.
He has, Nash. He has, no question.
And yet the photographic evidence from the time of the incident clearly shows that Mr. Winnie Bank was not in the possession of a firearm of any description.
Objection!
You surprise me. Does the defense really intend to highlight the evidence that compromises the position of the accused even more? Huh? I'm sorry for shaking my mic. I'm so sorry. Furthermore, the defense is as well to establish that the photographic print presented was taken suitably a short time prior to the victim's death. Your chronology is severely lacking, Consul. Yeah, that's right.
Too right, Nash. Too right. The old geezer could have been about to turn the tables on the girl, eh?
Hardly likely. No, I'm afraid this won't stand as conclusive evidence. Continue with the cross-examination, Consul, and heed my earlier warning, witnesses. A Skulkin's never a Skulkin. Okay. Well, never mind. I thought you could do something. I wanted to skip a bit. But you're yelling at the girl. Okay. Let's talk about it then. You're saying that Mr. Winnie Big had a gun in his hand. Oh yeah, bet that was a sight, eh? Them two waving them guns at each other must have been pretty heated. I mean, just before he shot it, we heard the geezer, you say, if you don't can't want to get shot.
Didn't really sound like it meant it in mine. More of an empty threat, you could say.
Mr. Winnie Big was known to keep a revolver on his shop counter at all times. People say that to protect the articles in his keeping, he'd readily put the bullet in someone's head if required. In his own head. That someone being himself, of course. Good grief. Extraordinary devotion indeed, if alarmingly misguided. Well, he certainly sounded like he was ready to pull the trigger the other night. Only the person he was gonna shoot beat him to it. Cooked his goose proper.
But he wished he'd squeezed the trigger instead of wasting time shouting, "Give me that gun!"
And it was directly after those words you heard the gunshot. It was more or less the same time, Gov. Give me that gun! BAM! Kind of thing. Yes, a career of enacting. Very tragically missed. Ooh. And we heard the sound of someone hitting the deck. Before everything went dead quiet.
After that, we done and slapdash tidying the place up.
Okay. Now that he explained that, the bloke what owned the place was holding the gun, so he... Well, here's the thing. We're assuming that both of them have a gun. That makes no sense. In the picture here, he did not have a gun. Huh. I'm gonna do a BRB right now, so we're gonna check something out. So BRB. Let's try presenting.
Objection.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. I was gonna present, because I did, yes, what we needed to do was present this thing right here to give out, to give out what really happened. Yes, put the idea that Gina had the gun, right? But the guys keep saying that he also had a gun, but we know that it's not true because there was only one gun in the possession of Wendy Banks. He only had one gun, and if you could clearly see, if he had a gun, he would have it in his hands or near him when he died. So you're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Winnie Big, was wielding a gun. Is that correct? That's it, Gob. You got the picture.
He was, Nash. He was, no question.
And yet, photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows that Mr. Winnie Bank was not holding a firearm of any description. So the reason why I ended up doing the BRB right there for a little cut, because I was planning to present this gun instead, but I ended up doing this. So that's why. But anyways.
Eh? You what?
Gordon Bennett, that ain't right.
Objection!
There can be no question that the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I would remind the court that Mr. Winnie Big's gun was found at the scene. Not only was it identified as a murder weapon, but it was found on the accused's hand. You're right. Yeah, that more totally used the victim's own gun to finish him off. Give me that gun! BAM!
Kind of thing.
Hold it!
Exactly, wait right there. Stay exactly where you are. Right there. Eh? If the crime had taken place as you so colorfully described in your testimony, it would give rise to an undeniable and insignificant inconsistency in the final moments you just acted out. Goodness. Are you sure, Gonzalo? You intrigue me, my learned friend, but let's see some evidence to support your claim. Where is the proof that demonstrates the inconsistency in the witness's portrayal of the victim's final moments? The gun, I guess? Oh yeah, the gun. It could be found unconscious. There are signs of a single discharge. I don't know. More like right here, the positioning. But who knows? Wait a minute. It was locked in the room. Why? How could? Actually, he could hear. Actually, I don't know about that. What is something that we could say? Oh! The positioning! The positioning of where he was dead. Time of death. Pawnbrokery. Okay. The single bullet wound in the upper half of the victim's back. It was shot in the back. So are you saying, how could you say it shot him in the chest if it got shot through the back? Right there, it must have been facing them back. So, right here in the autopsy report, according to their testimony, the witnesses claim that to have heard the shot and of "give me that gun" followed by the gunshot.
Indeed, with the two events happening almost simultaneously, or so we've been led to believe.
Yes, that's right. Now, if that testimony is true, it would mean that the moment of death, the victim and his attacker would have been facing each other. However, in the autopsy report, it clearly states that the victim died instantly after being shot from behind. Oh. So, as I stated before, there is an undeniable inconsistency in your testimony, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. He's like, I just realized he has the fucking box to, like, since he's so short, he's standing on the box. But it's got honest truth.
It is, Nash, it is! When he was shot that night.
The shopkeeper had a gun in his hand, and we saw it with our own bleeding eyes. Did I hear you right just now? You actually saw Mr. Winniebank holding a gun. Some at like that might have slipped out. What? Ladies and gentlemen, you have all just heard the admission by these two witnesses that on the night in question, they actually saw with their own eyes the victim wielding a gun, which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, the Skulkin brothers must have encountered the victim in person.
Nash,
Oh my god. We caught him.
Order! Witnesses, explain yourself at once.
Well, the thing is, it wasn't supposed to, Alright. It would seem that my previous warnings fell on deaf ears. I made it clear that that false witness would be the death of you.
I want to understand that you replace the untruths of your original testimony with renewed lies.
I was so sorry, Governor. Truth is,
cut it out, Nash, cut it out! If we blab now, you know what he'll do to us.
He? Who are you talking about? Let me make your position here perfectly clear. You will talk. There is no other option available to you. Bruv, come on. The game's up.
But you'll have our ghosts for gutters.
In case it hasn't quite sunk in yet, no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out.
On the night in question, it is now apparent that you, brothers, met face-to-face with the victim. I demand that you testify again to explain the precise circumstances under which this meeting took place.
Well...
Do we have to?
It's not like you're in court or anything. On pain of death. I suggest you make yourselves fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth. Damn, he sounds so angry. I mean, he doesn't sound so angry, but I feel like he is angry at him, in my opinion. Alright, encounter the brothers.
Alright, so we just got inside the gaff and heaved a sigh of relief when the geezer showed up his mug.
Give me that gun, he bellowed, and that he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we had it.
When old geezer, the bloke was strong like as an ox. He chucked him over at the counter.
I pulled him my gun on him and legged it through the door into the back room.
He never had nothing to do with killing him. That's what happened, I swear.
So you're now telling us that the moments before the victim was killed in a storeroom, you in fact encountered the man, him, in the main part of the shop. Well, yeah, sorry. Well,
We find ourselves at an interesting juncture. This changes matters considerably.
but honest God, no, this time.
This time, Nash, this time, we ain't got nothing more to hide.
Very well.
Very well. Console of the defense, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. This is it. The money I've been waiting for. We can't really pin the blame on them because regardless, the evidence doesn't really stack up because regardless, they did shot, but it was only one bullet. And we can't get deny on that. So there's something else that they're hiding. Alright, give me your testimony. Give it. When you say geezer, I presume you mean the victim and the proprietor of the shop, Mr. Winnie Bank.
Who else? Sorry, I mean, that's right.
We was keeping an eye close in the entrance to that gaff, obviously. But we never thought no one was gonna come out of the back room like that. The back room being the pawnbroker's storeroom.
Yeah, that must be where he opted up from. Only place he could have been.
So it would seem that the victim was already in the storeroom when these brothers entered the premises.
Which means Jeannie must have been in there at the point as well.
But that doesn't make sense, does it? If Gina had threatened Mr. Winnie Bank into the storeroom with her at gunpoint, then why would he have emerged from the same room all alone when the brothers arrived?
Oh, I don't know.
Did you see the accused at the time?
What? The mole toller? Couldn't tell ya.
No way, Kappa. We had bigger fish to fry then. I mean, the old geezer just lost it. I would lose it too if someone was breaking into my house. You think I'm gonna be like, please no, don't do it? If I have like my PlayStation 5, my PC, my huge TV and 2 monitors, you think I'm just gonna be like, okay, take it. No, I'm gonna fight for it. Like, oh no, this cost me a fortune. Let me die, but let me die knowing that I protected my valuables because I know for a fact, once I'm dead, at least I have my valuables to sell, like, for my family to sell later on. So, I'm just saying. I'm just saying like that. You mentioned that the Mr. Winniebank shouted those words in your previous testimony, too. However, you claim that you heard him yelling them on the other side of the storeroom door? Oh, did we? But the truth is, he was shouting those words at you, wasn't he? Yeah. Was a victim, Mr. Winniebank, wielding a gun at that time?
Was he ever, blimey lummy? A great ugly barrel that he had, pointed straight to the front, at me front's piece.
So what you're saying is, you definitely saw Mr. Winniebank with a gun at the time. At the time, is that right? Maybe, but I don't think he was.
It is, Gov. It is spot on.
Okay. Then all of a sudden, he came to us. He did.
It was bedlam. I didn't know who was going for who.
Okay. You were clearly all going for each other.
Like Nash said, we thought we had it. I mean,
You did? What do you mean?
for an ugly geezer.
For an old, I don't know why I said ugly geezer. That's so mean of me. Why would I say that? For an ugly geezer. Jesus Christ. That's so mean. I would never. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to do that. Anyways, for an ugly geezer. That's so funny. Alright. We had to say about this one. Yes, I noted that you mentioned the counter in your previous testimony too.
Well, yeah, of course we did.
He knocked over a load of books and candlestick and some skull whatnot.
That got tangled in some marionette.
What knocked over the picture frame? What knocked over the scales? I have a feeling that he picked you up and like dragged you to the fucking counter. That's what it was, didn't he? So in fact, it wasn't the sound of the gunshot that shocked you and made you knock those things off the counter. Well, but Rob, yeah, went flying over the counter like that. Oh my God, gunshot! I can tell you, the old geezer pinned him.
He did, Nash, he did. If you hadn't been there, the bloke would have flattened me like a blooming packing in seconds.
Oh my God. At the time in question, the alarm was raised at that local police station via the secret cable from the pawnbrokery. There's a button under the counter used to activate it, which was presumably pressed by the victim. Wow, it took them a long time to get there. We got there first. What the fuck? That's right. When the brothers fled the scene back onto the street, they ran straight into the arriving police, didn't they?
Poor Mr. Winnie Bank. He did everything he could to protect his shop.
In fact, he did. I put him a gun on him, and then he legged it through the door into the back room. Hold it! What do you mean by that? Were you intending to shoot Mr. Winnie Bank? No, never. I was just, you know. No, you know. Looking out for me, bruv, weren't I? He was being flattened, don't forget. By a man whose shop was being burgled. Yes. Burgled, yeah. Burger, no me. And then the man fled into the storeroom when you pointed your gun at him. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. He shoved me away, then ran off through that door and shut him himself in. There's something about that last remark. Something that doesn't quite ring true. I wonder why Mr. Winnipeg ran away into the storeroom. What? Well, according to what everyone's saying, Jeannie was in there waiting for him with a gun. Yes, that's right. Jeannie allegedly used the gun, Mr. Winniebank's gun, to threaten him and force him to open the storeroom door. In which case, how did the gun end up in Mr. Winniebank's hands again? Dude, I like how he is like, he would sacrifice himself. He like pointed the gun onto him, but he can throw hands apparently. I don't know what he needs the gun for, but I guess that was his downfall, either way. I have no idea, but that is strange, isn't it? This little inconsistency could be significant. I should make a mental note of it. Hold on. BRB. Alright, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. I just needed to sneeze and might as well went to the bathroom at that point. But anyways, look, the point is, me and brother here.
That's right, Nash. That's right. Me and bruv here.
Okay. And what else? We never had anything. Actually, where was I? I forgot. Was this where? Yeah, the last one is where the inconsistency. Little hints of what it means. But anyways, we never had nothing to do with killing him. And what's happened? I swear. Okay. You say you had nothing to do with it. Nothing at all.
Nothing, Gov, nothing. The old geezer went and shut himself in the back room, didn't he?
Locked it was from the inside.
We knew it was because we tried to open it.
Where's the little door? And that one, good and strong, wouldn't budge an inch. So in the end, the situation remains unchanged. Inside the storeroom, the pawnbroker, there was only one other person. The sole person who could possibly have shot the victim, the accused, Miss Legina Lestrade.
It would indeed appear so. What any you say to that, Consul? What say to you that?
I don't know. Was there anyone else apart from Gina who could have possibly have shot Mr. Winnie Bank? There could have been. Honestly, there could have been. Mr. Skulkin.
What?
What's that look for?
From the moment you admitted that you encountered the victims face to face that night, the course of the trial changed completely.
It did?
Yeah. What is your point, my learned friend? The question we must answer is that who could have shot Mr. Winnie Bank? It is the belief of the defense that the defendant is not only the only possible answer at all. That's so true. It could be them too. You have my attention. In that case, let us return to the plan of that premises. The victim was killed in the storeroom, which was locked from the inside. Those are the facts. So pray, what other possible answer to that question of who shot the man could it there be?
Consul, you might now provide the answers to the court in respect of the two conundrums.
Two, my lord. Twice as many chances to be right, maybe.
Indeed. Namely, from what location did the culprit shoot the victim? And furthermore, where was the victim at the time?
Ah, okay. Understood, my lord. Are you alright right now? I'm not entirely sure, but there's one thing I'm sure about. If I can prove that there's a credible new alternative of what happened, it would change Gina's prospects hugely. So now, time for some clarity. Show the court on this plan and the answers to the questions posed by his lordship. Okay. If you believe someone else could have killed the victim, indicate where the person could have fired the gun. Right around here.
Take that!
The defense believes the culprit could have been shot the victim this location here. And the answer to the second question. Assuming the culprit fired the location indicated, where was the victim at the time? Right here.
Take that!
The defense believes that the victim would have been in this position here. What your answers in fact show is that your own position is absurd of those who have indicated the plan. What are you saying?
What Lolonsig is saying, Consul, is that your answers are clearly flawed.
Wait, what the fuck? How am I supposed to answer this then? I knew it. It's twice as many chances to be wrong. So the questions are, from where did the culprit shoot the victim, and where was the victim at the time? Well, I don't see why we can't show that someone other than the genie could have done it in the storeroom, do you? Yes, that's right. Way of looking at it. I suppose someone other than Gina in the storeroom. What's the best move here? Should I try again or rather find more information first? Huh. Honestly, let's try to give it a more try because I don't remember this at all. Completely. So that's why I always play this game because I keep forgetting about this. There are two locations, blah blah blah, the punishment. Okay. If we can't completely do this on the second try, we can't. So what could we do is maybe the victim was like, let's say the shooter was right here. The culprit would be here. And the answer to the second one would be, well, assuming it could be that it was here. He's gonna say objection right here. The defense believes that the victim... Yeah, I knew it. Okay, doesn't really matter. I guess, but... You know, positioned by those that are saying... Yep. I don't know. Maybe it's just the... Sometimes the game can be stupid in times where you did the same positioning before, but it doesn't count anymore. Which is so stupid at times, but who knows? Who really knows? Leave it bad. So we're just gonna continue on, and maybe if I'm continue getting stuck, I'll do it again, regardless. But very well. Okay. Now that we have that, so that's all that these brothers are willing to reveal at this time, isn't it? Is it? They're still hiding something, don't you think? Yes, I'm sure of it, and not just a minor detail either. It's only certainly because of these two that poor Mr. Big. Well, you can't let them get away with it, Reno. Okay, I know, but I get the feeling that there's even less evidence at my disposal this time to prove that they did it. We've come so far. Now it's time to finish them off. Okay, well, I'll do my best. Can't believe I got them wrong. There's 3 chances right there. Oh well. It's not like I haven't been wrong before in this game, so I have been, so no worries. Put me in a gun, no one. Fled through the door into the back room. What are we gonna say for this? Though. Why would she... The thing is, why would he go back over here? Maybe that makes no sense. But anyways, BRB before... I'm gonna save right now, so BRB. Okay, I'm back. I'm not... Even though I played this game before, there are some stuff that I don't know, or like, I don't know, I tend to forget and everything. But I was on the right track, and I don't know why I thought I wasn't. So, we go back here, nothing said at all, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and let them do the thing where we have to present something else. Well, not present, we have to... The positioning, I was right about which one was the positioning. We were supposed to do this, so... I don't know why I thought that the whole 4th one was a contradiction, but I keep note of it, but kind of was meant to be misleading, I guess. Or maybe it'll come back up later, but anyways, there could have been. Alright, so what we did wrong is, even though we assume, here's the thing, we assume that that he got shot. Wait, I don't know about you guys. I know for a fact that these guys did not shoot Mr. Windy Bank, because the gun that they shot out was the gun that they shot at Mr. Holmes. Mr. Sherlock Holmes, I mean. Herlock Holmes, sorry. I keep forgetting his name. But anyways, right here in this positioning, he's asking us where else could he have been shot. And we're assuming that there could have been another person that could have shot him, but in actuality, it's asking us who. It's asking us not who, but where would he be shot, not with who. So that's why I assume that it can't be the brothers. So that's why I keep trying to point like maybe the guy was up here and he was there and he shot from there. But no, that's not the case. Show the card, yeah, whatever. What we're supposed to do is instead, outside of the store, around this direction, let's say here, the defense believes that the guy was here. I was right about this. And maybe I was still a bit out of place. And it's telling us where he could have been shot. We present to the storeroom. Because otherwise, how else did he ended up being here and dying instantly? And there you go. We have it. There you have it. Sorry about that, a little hard. Like, sorry about that. But the culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom. It took a while. I shouldn't have taken that long. Continue, because I did, like, once I did that cut, I looked over through all the evidence. When you're playing this game, it's always important to always keep looking at this at the what's it called, the court record, to see your evidence and what would be the best case scenarios, and also eliminating what could possibly be useful. Like this, and this are not really useful at the moment. But otherwise, these things too, we already have been using them, so it's not really important. The guns could be important, but otherwise, yeah, it's always best to see like what would be best for the situation. So, anyways, continue. Mr. Winnipeg died instantly from a fatal bullet wound in his back. That's true. Looking at the stain of blood in the storeroom floor, it doesn't appear that the body was moved after death, which tells us that he was almost certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. However, the crucial point is, where was the shooter when the fatal bullet was fired?
So you're adamant The shot was fired from the outside of the storeroom.
Well, according to Skulkin's brothers, earlier in the testimony, I put me a gun on him, and he legged through the door into the back room. If Mr. Winnipeg ran away through that door, he had to assume that the door was open at the time. Oh! It was at precisely that moment when the victim was fleeing from his life that these brothers had the perfect opportunity to shoot the man in the back once he was inside the storeroom. Ooh. Come to think of it, do you remember what the prosecutor said at the start of the trial? What do you say? Moving on to the findings of the Scotland Yard coroner. His report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. It means that the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. And we're gonna try to think that that Ringo was the one that shot him then. Huh, okay. Poor man, shot while he was running as fast as he could to safety. Of course. He would have been leaning forward when he was running away. So even if the bullet was fired horizontally, it would still have entered the body on an upward trajectory. So the culprit isn't necessarily someone shorter than Mr. Winnipeg.
Objection!
Okay. I'm sure my learned friend can't have forgotten that the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside. You claim that the victim was shot and fled into the room. Do you also claim his corpse was dexterous enough to turn the key and in the lock? But what if someone else locked the door? Yes, there is someone else who could have locked the door from inside. Is that so? Then tell me.
Very well then, Consul. Present your hypothesis of the court. In the scenario that just described, the defense's assertion is the victim was shot from the outside of the storeroom. In which case, who shot the locked storeroom door from the inside?
Well, who else was there? Gina. Duh. Percent. I was pressing the wrong button percent. Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only other person inside the storeroom at the time. The defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Objection!
That's absurd! You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered the sealed door room? For what possible reason? Such actions would only severe the tighten the noose around her neck.
I am inclined to agree. I must say, well, Consul.
Well... yes, that's a tricky one, that isn't it?
Half-baked notions have no place in the courtroom, Consul. Remember that, please.
But of course Jeannie would have locked the door. It almost goes without saying, doesn't it? It does? Well, yeah. For safety. Well, if I was Gina in that situation, I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could. I mean, those two burglars had just fired a gun in her direction, hadn't they? Oh yes, obviously. Before the two brothers arrived, Miss Lestrade and Mr. Winnie Bank were in the storeroom together. Now, I don't know what went on between them at that time, but at some point, Mr. Winnie Bank must have heard the intruders breaking into his shop and left the storeroom. Intruders? Eh? That's us, bruv. Who do you think it was? If your theory is correct, that would leave the accused alone in the storeroom. Yes, it would. Then, probably only moments later, the victim fled back through the storeroom door, hoping to escape danger. Hidden in the bag of the bullet, Mr. Winniebeck fell to the floor where he was, just inside the storeroom. And what we have to ask ourselves now is, what would the defendant have done in that moment? I see where you're going with this. Oh shit, I need a bar because of that. I'm sorry. Outside the storeroom was terrifying killer who had just murdered Mr. Winnie Bank. As soon as that thought struck Miss Lestrade, she slammed the door, shut and locked it, in order to save her own life.
Hold it!
What's up? But I ain't. I mean, we ain't the ones who done it.
We ain't, God. We ain't. You gotta believe us. I mean, come on. We never shoot no one.
That's blatantly untrue. I know for a fact that you would, because before my own eyes, you shot Mr. Harlock Sholmes. Oh. There's only one logical conclusion here. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you brothers had every opportunity to have the true perpetrator to have been the true perpetrators on the Mr. Windy Bake's murder. I can't. I mean, he's right on this, but where does this leave us? You mean to say it wasn't the pickpocket who shot the pawnbroker after all? I should have known it was the three brothers. They look so shitty and desperate. The three brothers. He says, counting Gregson as the brother. That was amazing, Rena. All the members of the jury seem to be firmly on your side now. I know, first time ever. And probably the last. Well, I think you've done it. Surely they'll have to give the verdict of not... An admirable effort, my learned friend. What's this now? He's laughing.
You find the situation amusing, Lord Von Six. I myself find the defense argument most persuasive.
I dare say. Such chickenarity. Chickenarity. Why do you have to say such a word? Come on, Ricardo, you can do it. Chicanery. There you go. It's the bread and butter of the street performers in your provincial eastern nation. But such blatantly malicious conjuring tricks amount of nothing more than inexcusable pettifoggery here. What? The hypothesis you put forward so ostensibly, credibly cannot and will not stand. Because, you see, it contains a fatal flaw. A fatal flaw? Do you mean to tell me that you're unaware of your logic's failing?
I say, Lord Von Six. Good volley. Might be an idea to explain the volley conjuring trick, or whatever it is, to the troops on the ground,
The fatal flaw in my learned friend's argument is really simple to understand. What is the flaw? Assuming that you're not too dim-witted to count bullets. By George, count bullets! Oh dear. He noticed then. Huh? What's everyone talking about? Counsel! Yes, sir! Tell the court, how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime? Two. 2 bullets. Correct. The first, that which hit the victim in the back, ending his life. And the second, that which struck the detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, on his arrival at the scene.
Indeed. The defense presented a picture showing the damage caused by the second bullet earlier in the proceedings. The bullet which injured Mr. Sholmes appears to have passed through his body to strike the calendar.
Correct. Your lordship's understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know there are 2 firearms involved in the incident. The revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Windy Bake, and the Skulkin brothers' revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun.
Yes, indeed it does. A single bullet from each.
Now then, my learned friend. You yourself told the court only moments ago. Now these 2 brothers shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes right before your eyes. Yes, I did. Oh my goodness! I think you'll find that if a single bullet was fired from the brother's gun hit Mr. Sholmes, it means when they bang, not shot by the same gun, stop. Only one bullet, stop. Exactly. Yes, the Nippon street performer presented an ostensibly credible argument. However, it was never anything more than a diversionary trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny. Oh, you're gonna fall back? Yeah, I knew it. Come on. Damn it. This is why I didn't want to do it, because I know for a fact it wouldn't make sense if we'd use that explanation.
Order! Order! Order!
Oh! Hooray! Forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dregs of this hallowed nectar into the public gallery. Should finally shut the fuck up. Shut them the fuck up, my god. Not on six. But this court needs to open its eyes. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can regrettably no longer be described as a juvenile. No, the person on the dock is far from a law-abiding citizen. She has a past riddled with criminal conduct. What do you mean by that? The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question with a loathsome intent. As we can see beyond doubt in this print, which depicts her threatening the victim with the murder weapon. Ooh, it's not looking good. And I have some here in my possession. One more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. That disc! I'll be taking that whatever it is of Mr. McGill down to the yard. Thank you very much. No, don't! Don't give it to him! It's mine! That is mine! I'm sorry, miss. But anything belonging to McGill has to be taken in as evidence now. Sunshine. Alright. I had to add that in. Yes, that music box disc. McGill music box disc. The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Winding Bank, the accused attempted to make off with this article, which clearly doesn't belong to her. And with none absurdly of a pickpocket, I might add, but by brute force and brazen impudence. Gracious. Make no mistake, any sympathy of the accused on the account of her years is misguided and dangerous. There are no deaths into which this girl would not stoop. If pushed, no crime she would not commit. The court forgets the fact at its peril.
I see. I think it would be prudent to take this music box disc into evidence console. As a grim testament of the defendant's—
Holy shit! Hold on, Ziggs, Inspector Gregson? What? We were getting to the good part. Yes, Inspector. We had a meeting yesterday to the yard with prosecution service, and I think as it was agreed that this wouldn't be used as evidence. What's this all about? Why is the inspector acting strangely? That's the first time he said anything to Lord Van Zinks at all. I am unaware of any such a meeting. What? Those were the instructions, right from the top. The government bigwigs were insistent. Inspector, I am the prosecutor, and I alone determine how to present my case. Your warning is noted. Thank you. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord.
Indeed. Bailiff.
Okay. Kind of weird. Music box disc. Can we finally get it back? The metal disc used to play the music in a mechanical music box. On the reverse side of the note it says, for McGilded. The prosecution has established the accused's motive, opportunity, and basisness of character. There is nothing more to add. And okay. He takes a bow. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case. I don't believe it. I had the jury on my side for once and for all 5 minutes. I don't know, it took longer than 5 minutes, honestly. Oh dear, it wasn't even for 5 minutes, Reno. My lord! Wonder if I might say something at this point, good one, Proceed.
Proceed, Mr. Waldman.
Been stumbling about in a bit of a fog just now, if truth be told, but all of a sudden, the answer to the ball is obvious to me and my men. There's only one thing for it. Oh no. Very well.
Very well. A court will hear from the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, you will present your leanings as the defendant's culpability.
Guilty.
Holy shit.
Guilty.
Again?
Guilty.
We gotta do this again?
Guilty.
Guilty.
God damn it.
Well, witnesses, among the jury it seems.
When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
Hey, that's my line. I wrote that for Hurley.
Ah, how dare he? How dare he use it against us? Don't worry, Iris. I don't think we're finished just yet. There's still more to this case than we realize. There must be, because there's one thing that I'm absolutely certain of. Gina didn't shoot Mr. Winnipeg. That's beyond any doubt.
Very well. We will proceed with the second summation examination of the day.
Right away, he's like, alright, we automatically assume that he's gonna do it, so might as well let him.
Mr. Waldman, are you and the other jurors ready?
Government Squadron is primed and ready for action, sir.
Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have now determined the defendant to be guilty.
Alright. Looks like we're doing this again. Oh, God. Judicial findings. The jurors' contentions. Okay. Okay. Time for round 2.